Charles Kellert, FTE 1911 Master Armorer's course. The date is 24 July 2025, and this will be our week 3 assignment. The goals for this assignment will be going over 3 components in the 1911. We'll go over the critical dimensions, potential malfunctions that could occur if improper modifications have been done on them, what damage is likely if the component fails, the training a gunsmith should undergo to avoid causing damage to these specific components, and finally, what additional components interact with the components selected. Okay, so the very first part we're going to talk about is the barrel bushing, which is right here. The critical dimensions are the lug that fits within the slide, which is right there, and the slide channel, and then it should fit snugly is what we're looking for. And then the outer diameter mates with the slide, as you can see in there. And finally, the barrel should also fit snugly in here. Alterations that you might see with this, some people who do competition shooting, they'll file here and here, and what that does is it allows the barrel to tilt a little bit more, a little bit smoother action. If you do that, you do need to leave a small amount of clearance between the barrel and the barrel bushing, so the slide can properly reciprocate. And then that's when I say filing, reliefs are basically put into these areas here. Back here at the bottom and up here at the top. Wear and tear on the barrel bushing. You'll see some wear and tear. It rubs against the barrel, so that's fairly common. The tilt design obviously rubs on it when the barrel unlocks. The component relationships, what this mainly relates to is the barrel and the slide, and it helps keep the barrel aligned properly as the slide reciprocates, and it also helps retain the recoil spring plug, which is right here. Now, with this failing, I can imagine if that barrel starts getting out of whack and it's not connecting with the slide properly, you could have everything from failure to lock, failure to unlock properly, even failure to cock if for whatever reason it's binding up and not allowing the slide to travel far enough to cock the hammer. The next thing we had was number 9, which is the firing pin. The critical dimensions is the amount for which it protrudes from the rear of the slide right here. This part will be retained in there, and back end here needs to protrude so when firing, the hammer actually has a surface to impact. And then the nose of the firing pin right here is also a crucial surface because it needs to be able to protrude and impact the primer of the cartridge. People don't really alter the firing pin too much. If anything, what they'll do is they'll move to a titanium firing pin, which gives it a little bit sturdier, less chance of this starting to mushroom, which could also change the critical dimensions of the firing pin hole. Wear and tear, you're gonna see common wear and tear on this component. It's being hit by a hammer on one end and impacting something on the other end, and then obviously driven back and forth under spring tension. The relationships it has, it relates with the hammer, the firing pin spring right here, and the primer of the cartridge. If this component fails, you'll see a failure to fire. The ejector, which is this component right here that is it's staked in. The critical dimensions is the geometry of the tip, which is right here. And what that does, this geometry here, why it's so important, is when a cartridge ejects, it's got to go out of this small little area. So you need that geometry to spit this thing out when the cartridge impacts out of that area. The top and sides of the ejector body, they're critical for smooth cycling. As you can see, it's in very close relation to the slide. Possible alterations. Sometimes people start messing with the nose to try and change the trajectory of ejected casings. But if someone screws that up, then you could have everything from casings failing to eject at all. They're hitting the inside of the structure of the slide, to casings ejecting in non-ideal fashion upward towards your face or whatever. It gets quite a bit of wear and tear because casings, especially if you're using steel casings, are impacting this every time you fire. The slide is going right beside it as well. This component really just interacts with the cartridge and the frame itself. That is it for the ejector. For this, obviously, it's failure to eject on the ejector. So that's the three components. The damage likely on these components, it's going to be impact-bearing surfaces. So for the firing pin, both the tip and the hammer side. For this bushing, you can see wear on the lug itself, and then on the inner diameter where the barrel is sliding back and forth. Finally, on the ejector, you could possibly see wear and tear where it's close to the slide, but definitely wear and tear at the tip where the cartridges are impacted. Training a gunsmith should undergo to avoid causing damage to these components. Understanding these components, if they'd be modified, would be modified with either polishing stones or files. One thing, training specific to the firearm, specific training on the tools that you would use to alter the firearm. And that is it for week 3 FTE 211 Master Armorer's course.